Your Honor, with all due respect, this man is nothing but a bum who doesn't deserve to be in the same courtroom as me. Those words hit me like a slap across the face. I've been sitting on this bench in Providence Municipal Court for over 3 decades. I've heard a lot of terrible things. But this was different. Let me back up. My name is Frank Caprio. I'm a judge here in Providence, Rhode Island. Every day, people come through my courtroom with parking tickets, traffic violations, and small disputes. Most days are routine, but some days, something happens that reminds me why I became a judge in the first place. Today was one of those days. The man who just spoke those disgusting words was standing to my right. His name was Bradley Thornton. He was 28 years old, tall, and wearing a suit that probably cost more than most people make in a month. It was navy blue with thin white pinstripes. His shoes were polished so bright I could almost see my reflection from the bench. His hair was slicked back with gel. He wore a gold Rolex on his left wrist. Everything about him screamed money and privilege. But it was his eyes that bothered me most. They were cold, empty, like he was looking at objects instead of people. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. The bailiff had called the case about 10 minutes earlier. Case 2026 TR 48291, the state versus Bradley Thornton, reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident. I looked up from my notes. Mr. Thornton, please step forward. He strutted up to the podium like he owned the place. No nervousness, no respect, just confidence that bordered on arrogance. Good morning, I said in my usual tone, professional, respectful. Do you understand the charges against you? Yeah, I understand them, he said without adding, Your Honor. Small thing, but I noticed. Then I looked to my left. That's when I saw him. The victim's name was Robert Hayes. He was 56 years old, but he looked older. His face was weathered and lined with deep creases. His hair was mostly gray, with patches of brown still fighting to hang on. He wore an old green military jacket that had seen better days. The fabric was faded and worn at the elbows. Underneath, he had on a plain white t-shirt with a small stain near the collar. His jeans were clean but frayed at the bottom. But what caught my attention most was the way he stood, straight, shoulders back, hands clasped in front of him, military posture. Even after everything life had thrown at him, he still stood like a soldier. Mr. Hayes, I said gently, thank you for being here today. I understand you're the injured party in this case. Yes, sir, Your Honor, he said. His voice was quiet, but clear, respectful. Can you tell me what happened? Robert took a slow breath. 3 weeks ago, I was crossing Broad Street downtown. It was about 7 in the evening. I was in the crosswalk. The light said walk. I made sure before I stepped off the curb because... He paused. Because I use a cane sometimes. My left leg got injured overseas. Afghanistan, 2009. I nodded, encouraging him to continue. I was halfway across when I heard tires squealing. I looked up and saw a black car coming right at me. I tried to move faster, but I couldn't. The car hit my left side, knocked me down hard. I hit my head on the pavement, blacked out for a few seconds. My chest tightened as I listened. And then what happened? When I came to, people were surrounding me. Someone was calling 911, but the car was gone. The driver just left me there on the street like I was trash. I looked over at Bradley. He was checking his phone, not even pretending to pay attention. Mr. Thornton, I said sharply, put the phone away, now. He looked up, annoyed. He sighed loudly and shoved the phone into his pocket. Sorry, Your Honor, important business message. I let it slide, for now. Mr. Hayes, were you injured? Yes, sir. Concussion, bruised ribs. My bad leg got worse. I was in the hospital for 2 days. I don't have insurance anymore, so... He trailed off. The implication was clear. He couldn't afford it. Where do you live, Mr. Hayes? He hesitated. I could see shame flicker across his face. Right now, Your Honor, I'm staying at the Veterans Shelter on Prairie Avenue. I've been there about 8 months. My heart sank. This man served our country. He fought for our freedom. And now he was homeless, hit by a car, and left on the street like garbage. Thank you for your service, I said. I meant every word. Thank you, sir. Then I turned to Bradley. Mr. Thornton, what do you have to say about this? He shrugged. Literally shrugged. Look, Your Honor, it was an accident. I didn't see him. I was running late for a dinner reservation at Capitol Grill. My girlfriend was already mad at me. I panicked. I shouldn't have left, I get that, but it's not like I hit him on purpose. You didn't see a man in a crosswalk? It was getting dark, Bradley said casually. And honestly, there are a lot of homeless people wandering around that area. They don't always follow the rules. How was I supposed to know he'd be in the middle of the street? The gallery behind me stirred. I heard someone whisper, "Did he just say that?" I leaned forward. Mr. Thornton, are you aware that leaving the scene of an accident with injuries is a serious crime? Yeah, my lawyer explained that. But come on, Your Honor. I came back the next day when I calmed down. I turned myself in. That should count for something. Technically, he was right. He had turned himself in after police tracked his license plate from a witness, but the way he said it, like he deserved a medal for doing the bare minimum, made my blood pressure rise. Let's look at the evidence, I said. Prosecutor? The assistant prosecutor stood up. She was a sharp young woman named Lisa Chen. Your Honor, we have 3 key pieces of evidence. First, traffic camera footage from the intersection showing Mr. Thornton's vehicle striking Mr. Hayes and fleeing the scene. She handed me a tablet. I watched the video. It was clear as day. Black Mercedes SUV. Running a yellow light that turned red. Robert Hayes in the crosswalk. Impact. Robert flying to the side and hitting the ground. The Mercedes never even slowed down. I felt sick. Second, Lisa continued, we have Mr. Thornton's cell phone records from that evening. He made 4 phone calls in the 20 minutes after the accident, 1 to his girlfriend, 1 to his father, 2 to his attorney. But none to 911, I said. Correct, Your Honor. No call to emergency services, no call to police. He was more concerned with protecting himself than helping the man he just hit. Bradley shifted uncomfortably. I told you, I panicked. Lisa wasn't done. Third, we have text messages from Mr. Thornton to a friend 2 hours after the incident. She handed me printed copies. I'll read one. Quote, Dude, almost ruined my night. Hit some homeless guy but got out of there before cops showed. Dad's lawyer will handle it. These people are always looking for a payout anyway. End quote. The courtroom went silent. I read the text myself. Then I read it again. My jaw clenched. Mr. Thornton, did you send this text? That was taken out of context, he said quickly. I was upset. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I just meant, look, Your Honor, I'm a businessman. I run a software startup. I'm worth about $3 million right now. People see guys like me and they see dollar signs. I was worried this guy would sue me for everything I have. So your first thought after hitting a man with your car wasn't, is he okay? It was, how much will this cost me? Bradley opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. That's not fair. Not fair, I repeated. My voice was rising and I had to control it. Mr. Hayes spent 2 days in a hospital. He's living in a shelter. He can barely walk. And you're worried about being sued? With all respect, Your Honor, he was probably hoping to get hit so he could get a settlement. These homeless vets, they know how to work the system. The gallery erupted. People gasped. Someone shouted, Unbelievable. My bailiff, Tony, stepped forward to restore order. I held up my hand for silence. Mr. Thornton, I'm going to give you one chance to rethink what you just said. He looked confused. What? I'm just being honest. Everyone knows homeless people stage accidents all the time. I turned to Robert. His head was down. His shoulders were shaking slightly. He was trying not to cry. That's when I saw it. Mr. Hayes, I said softly, what's that pin on your jacket? He looked up, surprised. His hand moved to his chest, where a small medal was pinned to his worn military jacket. This? It's my Purple Heart, Your Honor. I got it after an IED explosion in Kandahar. Saved 3 guys in my unit, but took shrapnel in my leg and chest. I wear it to remind myself that I did something good once, that I mattered. My throat tightened. I've seen a lot of medals in my time. I've met veterans, heroes, people who sacrificed everything for this country. But seeing that Purple Heart pinned to a faded jacket on a homeless man who'd just been hit by a car and insulted in my courtroom, that broke something in me. "Mr. Thornton," I said, "do you know what a Purple Heart means?" "Sure, military thing. It means this man was wounded in combat while serving our country. It means he bled for your freedom, for your right to run your software company, for your right to drive that expensive Mercedes. He sacrificed his body and his health so you could live the life you live." Bradley rolled his eyes, actually rolled his eyes. "Okay, that's great and all, but what does that have to do with this case? So he was in the military. Lots of people were. That doesn't give him the right to walk into traffic and expect everyone to stop." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You think he walked into traffic?" "I think he wasn't paying attention, and now I'm the bad guy because I didn't stop? Give me a break. You hit him and left him bleeding on the street. I came back. 24 hours later, after your lawyer told you to." Bradley's face turned red. "You know what? I'm tired of this. My father knows the mayor. My attorney is friends with the police chief. I have connections in this city. I came here today as a courtesy, but I don't have to stand here and be lectured by you about some homeless guy who—" "Some homeless guy?" I interrupted. My voice was like steel now. "His name is Robert Hayes. He's a decorated combat veteran. He's a human being, and you will show him respect in my courtroom." Bradley laughed, a short, bitter laugh. "Respect? Your Honor, with all due respect, this man is nothing but a bum who doesn't deserve to be in the same courtroom as me." 10 seconds of silence. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. The air felt electric, like lightning was about to strike. I saw Tony's hand move to his hip, ready to intervene if needed. I saw Lisa's mouth fall open in shock. I saw people in the gallery lean forward, unable to believe what they'd just heard. And I saw Robert Hayes, the decorated veteran, the Purple Heart recipient, the man who'd given everything for his country. His eyes were filled with tears. Then the gallery erupted, shouting, anger, disbelief. I banged my gavel 3 times, hard. "Order! Order in this court!" The room quieted, but the tension remained thick and heavy. I stood up slowly. I removed my glasses. I set them on the bench, and I looked directly at Bradley Thornton. "Mr. Thornton," I said. My voice was quiet now, but somehow that made it more powerful. "I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say." He crossed his arms defiantly. "You stand before me today as a man who has been given every advantage in life. Money, education, opportunity, health, and what have you done with those advantages? You've used them to look down on others, to believe you're better than people who've struggled, to think the rules don't apply to you. That's not— I'm not finished." My voice cut through his protest like a knife. "Robert Hayes didn't ask to be hit by your car. He didn't ask to be homeless. Do you know why he's homeless, Mr. Thornton? Do you care?" Bradley said nothing. I turned to Robert. "Mr. Hayes, you don't have to answer this, but would you tell us how you ended up at the shelter?" Robert wiped his eyes. "After I came home from Afghanistan, I had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. That means I had nightmares and anxiety from the war. I couldn't hold down a job. My wife tried to help me, but I pushed her away. We divorced. I started drinking to forget. Lost my apartment, lost everything. I've been trying to get back on my feet ever since. The VA helped me stop drinking. I've been sober 2 years now. I work part-time at a grocery store, stocking shelves. I'm saving money to get my own place. I was walking to work when your car hit me, Mr. Thornton. I wasn't looking for a payout. I was just trying to survive." I looked back at Bradley. "Did you hear that? He was walking to work, to his job. He's trying to rebuild his life after sacrificing his body and mind for this country. And you called him a bum. You said he doesn't deserve to be in the same courtroom as you." Bradley's face had gone pale. Let me tell you something, Mr. Thornton. Robert Hayes has more dignity in his little finger than you have in your entire body. He's shown more courage, more honor, more character than you've demonstrated in your entire life. You have money, so what? Money doesn't make you better than anyone. It doesn't give you the right to hurt people and walk away. It doesn't excuse your cruelty. I picked up the printed text message. You wrote that he was looking for a payout. You assumed the worst about him because of where he lives. You judged him. You dehumanized him. And then, in my courtroom, you called him nothing but a bum. I leaned forward. Mr. Thornton, do you know what I see when I look at you? I see a small man, a weak man, a man who thinks wealth equals worth. You're wrong. The man standing next to you is worth 10 of you. Bradley's mouth opened, but no words came out. Here's what's going to happen, I said. You're going to learn what consequences mean. You're going to learn what accountability means, and you're going to learn what respect means. I sat back down and put my glasses on. Time for sentencing. Mr. Thornton, I find you guilty of leaving the scene of an accident with injuries. That's a serious crime. But your behavior in this courtroom today has shown me that you need more than just legal consequences. You need a lesson in humanity. I glanced at my notes, then I looked up. First, you will pay $15,000. $5,000 will go directly to Mr. Hayes to cover his medical expenses. $5,000 will be donated to the veteran shelter on Prairie Avenue, where Mr. Hayes is staying, and $5,000 will be a fine to the state. Bradley started to protest, but I held up my hand. Second, your driver's license is suspended for 1 year. No driving. You can take the bus, you can take a taxi, you can walk, but you will not be behind the wheel of a car for 12 months. Your Honor, I need my car for work. You should have thought about that before you hit a man and drove away. Third, you will complete 300 hours of community service, not just any community service. You will volunteer at the Providence VA Medical Center. You will help veterans. You will serve meals. You will listen to their stories. You will clean bedpans if that's what they need. You will do this every Saturday and Sunday for the next 6 months. That's 8 hours per weekend, supervised, documented. And if you miss even 1 day, you'll answer to me. Bradley's face was bright red now. You can't make me. Fourth, you will write a handwritten apology letter to Mr. Hayes, not typed, handwritten, 1 full page minimum. You will explain what you did wrong. You will acknowledge his service to this country. You will apologize for your words in this courtroom today. You will deliver it to this court within 1 week for my review. If I don't believe it's sincere, you'll write it again. This is insane. Fifth, you will create and deliver a public service announcement about the importance of stopping after an accident and the sacrifices made by our veterans. It will be 15 minutes long. You will present it at 3 local high schools. Dates and schools will be coordinated by my clerk. It will be recorded. It will be court-approved before you present it. I paused. And sixth, for your contempt of court today, for your disrespect toward Mr. Hayes, and for your complete lack of remorse, you will spend 48 hours in jail, starting right now. Bradley's eyes went wide. What? You can't. Tony, I said to my bailiff. Tony stepped forward. He was a big man, 6'3", former Marine. He'd heard everything, and he didn't look happy with Bradley. No, wait, Bradley said, panic creeping into his voice. You can't do this. My father will. Your father isn't here, I said coldly. You are, and you're going to face the consequences of your actions. Take him. Tony pulled out handcuffs. The click of metal on Bradley's wrists echoed through the silent courtroom. Your Honor, please, Bradley said, real fear in his voice now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. You did mean it, I said. That's the problem. You meant every word. Maybe 48 hours in a cell will give you time to think about what you said. You'll be released Monday morning at 9 a.m. You'll return here for a review hearing on March 15th at 10 a.m. At that hearing, I'll want to see proof that you've started your community service and that you've delivered your apology letter. Do you understand? Bradley didn't answer. He was staring at the handcuffs on his wrists like he couldn't believe this was happening. I asked you a question, Mr. Thornton. Yes, he whispered. I understand. Good. Take him away. Tony led Bradley toward the side door. As they passed Robert Hayes, Bradley glanced at him. For just a second, I thought I saw something in his eyes. Shame, maybe, or just fear. Hard to tell. The door closed behind them. The courtroom was still silent. I turned to Robert. Mr. Hayes, please approach. He limped forward slowly, leaning on his cane. Sir, I said, I cannot undo what happened to you. I cannot give you back your health or erase your struggles. But I want you to know something. You are not a bum. You are not less than anyone. You are a hero. You served with honor. You're surviving with dignity. And you have my deepest respect. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Thank you, Your Honor. The $5,000 for your medical expenses will be processed within 2 weeks. It's not enough, I know, but it's something. And if you need help connecting with VA resources for housing or medical care, my clerk has information for you. We're going to make sure you get the help you deserve. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Just keep fighting, keep surviving, keep being the good man you are. He saluted me. A crisp, military salute despite his worn clothes and tired eyes. I stood and saluted back. The gallery burst into applause. 6 months later, I got an update on the case. Bradley Thornton completed his jail time without incident. He submitted his apology letter. I'll be honest, the first version was garbage, generic, insincere. I made him rewrite it 3 times before I accepted it. The final version was better, not perfect, but better. He actually acknowledged what he'd done and how his words had hurt Robert. He completed his community service at the VA Medical Center. The coordinator there told me he was resistant at first, showed up late, did the minimum. But around month 3, something changed. He started arriving early. He started talking to the veterans, really talking, listening to their stories. One volunteer supervisor told me she saw Bradley sitting with a Vietnam vet for 2 hours one Sunday, just listening to the man talk about his experiences. I don't know if Bradley is truly changed. I hope so. But hope isn't the same as certainty. He delivered his public service announcement at 3 high schools as ordered. The video wasn't great, but it was honest. He talked about his mistake. He talked about privilege. He talked about the importance of stopping when you hurt someone. Most importantly, he talked about veterans and the respect they deserve. His license suspension ended. He got his driving privileges back. He hasn't had another violation since. As for Robert Hayes, that $5,000 made a difference. He used it to pay off his medical bills and put the rest toward rent. 3 months after the case, he moved into a small studio apartment in South Providence. It's not much, but it's his. He's still working at the grocery store. He's still sober. He's still fighting. Last month, he came back to the courthouse to visit. He wanted to thank me. He brought me a small American flag pin, said it was from his unit in Afghanistan. I wear it on my robe now. We talked for a while. He told me he started volunteering at the VA himself, talking to other homeless veterans about recovery, helping them find resources, giving them hope. You gave me my dignity back, he told me. In that courtroom, when everyone saw me as invisible, you saw me. You reminded me that I matter. I shook his hand. You've always mattered, Robert. Always. After he left, I sat alone in my chambers for a long time. I thought about justice, real justice. Not just following the law, but recognizing the humanity in every person who stands before the bench. I thought about Bradley Thornton and his expensive suit and cold eyes. About how easy it is to judge others when you've never struggled. About how privilege can blind you to suffering. And I thought about Robert Hayes, about his Purple Heart, about his dignity in the face of humiliation, about his strength to keep fighting even when the world had given up on him. Justice isn't just about punishing the guilty, it's about protecting the vulnerable. It's about reminding everyone that no matter where you come from, no matter how much money you have, no matter where you sleep at night, you have value, you have worth, you deserve respect. That's the job. That's why I put on this robe every morning, because in my courtroom, everyone matters, the rich and the poor, the powerful and the powerless, the veteran and the businessman, everyone. And if you forget that, if you think your money or connections make you better than someone else, I'll remind you, that's a promise.